Hey there, Dallin. Great speaking with you earlier today. So in this video, I am going to show you the 3 things that you can do today to help bring in more customers to your business. My name is Seleni McGregor again, and I just work with business owners across the state of Utah. So I put together this quick custom video for you just about your online presence and specifically how you're stacking up against your competition. I'm sure at this point you guys are most likely sitting there asking yourself, why would she be doing this and what is the catch? Well, that is a fair question. What I have found is that most local business owners are just too busy actually running their business. They might be swamped with payroll, helping customers, answering questions, dealing with employees, and just staying on top of jobs that many times learning how to leverage the internet to benefit their company just gets buried underneath all of the other to-dos. And let's be real, half the time the only reason you haven't hired somebody yet is because you don't know who to trust or know who is truly an expert. So that is exactly why I make videos like this. I have found that by giving people an easy, free attack plan of things that they can actually do to impact their business for free, it has resulted in some of those local business owners still raising their hands and saying, hey, I like you, Seleni, can you please just handle this for me? So if by the end of this video you've liked what you've heard, and if you can see that I've got a lot of tips and tricks in my sleeve that can help your business, then shoot me a message back and we can chat. Or even if by the end of this video you simply want to take this free attack plan that I gave to you and do it yourself, that totally works for me too. Now, let's cover the 3 things that are going to set Hammerhead pools above your competition. First is content, second, citations, and third, backlinks. So first up is content. So since Google isn't a human, it doesn't just know what you do, it has to be told through your content. Content is basically going to be anything here you can see here on your homepage that is highlighted. So this can be your text, your images, what your images are saved as, what's behind the pictures. All of those things can be considered content. Now to give you an example of the images, let's go ahead and jump to this image. We can do a right click, save as, and we can see we've got it named here. So you've got pool, grotto, and spa, followed by some numbers. I believe that's what I saw, multiple of the images saved as. Grotto, pool, and spa, so I think there's variations of the type of pool design that you've got going on here. So alternatively, this would actually be a great way to be able to leverage high volume keywords here by including those here in your detailed image descriptions. Again, all of these things are things that the Google bots can read and basically get an idea of what is this business, what services do they offer, what areas are they targeting. All of those things are going to position you in the search rankings. So the goal is having unique and authoritative content. I need to be able to have enough of it to be able to add in the right keywords and phrases that people are actually searching for in Google in order for them to find the services that you offer. So most business owners know that they need content, but what they don't know is that in order to rank number 1 for pool building, the average content count is 1,500 to 2,400 words on your homepage alone. Again, while making sure that it has the right keywords and phrases that your customers are searching for. So when I copied and pasted all of your content here and threw it into my tool, I can see that you guys are sitting around 289 words on your homepage. Again, alternatively, if we were to jump over here into your competitor here, these guys, Cutting Edge Pools, are currently ranking number 1 for pool building there in the St. George area. And when I went ahead and copied their content over here, they did beat you out with a total of, they're only at 331 words. They're still beating you out with the other optimizations and things going on, but that would be a great way to help start to be able to beat out competition here, is to increase your content count, again, while making sure that you've got the right keywords and phrases. Now, we're going to actually take a jump over here into one of my tools. It's called Ahrefs, a really cool tool. Typically it costs a couple $100s a month if you guys are interested to go get that for yourself. But it essentially gives me behind the scene details of Google's looking at when it comes to ranking a site. So I can get a pretty good idea of what's working well for you and for your competition. So I ran a quick scan here of Cutting Edge. And first here in the overview, I can see how many keywords their website is currently being found for on Google and roughly what type of traffic that's driving in per month. Now we're going to take a minute and dive specific here into their keywords, and we can actually see and take a deeper look at the exact keywords that they are ranking for and what your customers are actually searching for every month. So if I type in St. George, just kind of highlights these, make it a little bit easier to see. You can see right off the bat, they are being found for pool builders, St. George, Utah. That key term alone is being searched 70 times every single month, and they're ranking in the top positions. Again, this tool is showing number 2. Right now I'm showing them as number 1. Sometimes the tool lags a little bit just because Google does change their rankings often. But you can see here they are ranking in top position for that. Now they're also ranking for pool supplies that are being found 20 times per month, and then a couple other pool, and this is kind of more generic to like the city pool going on over there. But I wanted to also give you an idea, just searching in general for some key terms there in the St. George area for pool building as well. We're also seeing a few other terms. We've got St. George pool builders. That is being searched also 70 times every single month. This is the same one I just barely showed you, the pool builders St. George, Utah being searched 70 times per month. Pool builders in St. George, Utah being searched 40 times every month. St. George, Utah pool builders also being searched 40 times per month. Just looking at some of that volume here, I mean, what would happen to your business if you guys were getting all of that traffic, or even just a percentage of that traffic? What would that do for you guys? Now, jumping back over here, same tool. I've got your URL plugged in here. We can see the exact same overview. I can see how many keywords your website is being found for, and then what type of traffic it is driving every single month. So let's dive into the keyword that you are being found for. It looks like you are being found specifically just for your brand name here, Hammerhead Pools, being searched 10 times per month. Now, whether that's customer searching or you guys pulling it in, whatever matter, you are being found for that. However, even with your own brand name, you're being found in the 13th position for that. So you're like second page of Google for your name here. And again, just the lack of the other keywords of what Google, it doesn't know what you guys do, right? Based on your current content. So you're not being found for those other high volume keywords that we just looked at here, and what customers are actually searching in. So again, this goes back into your content, making sure that you're using those high volume keywords here in your content. That way your ideal customers are typing those things in and you guys are being found. This is totally beatable. Having this content with the keywords is what's helping drive your competitor's business, and it is 100% beatable. Now, let's jump over to the second thing, which is citations. We're going to jump over here into Google. I do have one of those key terms pulled in here, Pool Builders St. George, Utah, here at the top. And of course, the first things that we do see here are the ads sections. And here's the thing about ads. Ads can work, but they can also be a money pit if your foundation, like your website, isn't dialed in, or if customers are using an ad blocker. So just be really careful to not burn through your money with Google Ads unless you know that for sure your site is going to convert. Now, going down below that, we're actually going to go down here into this coveted map section here. This area has a lot to do with the second important thing that we're talking about, which is citations. So you're probably asking yourself, well, what is a citation? Why do they matter? Well, great questions. So this is called the Google Map Pack. I'm sure you've seen it. You've probably used this section and maybe even thought to yourself, how in the world can I get my business up here in the top 3? Well, the number one thing that Google looks at is a thing called citations. So what is a citation? Well, super simple. It's just your business name, address, and phone number listed on a bunch of online directories like these. Yelp, Yellow Pages, City Star, all of these. They just need to be able to match your listing exactly. Having citations like this helps Google to be able to verify you and then give relevance to your local business. So again, to push you up here in the top 3 spots on your map pack, you need to increase your citation game. When you get more citations than your competitors, especially from authoritative and industry-specific websites, your credibility boosts, you gain more trust from Google, therefore pushing you above your competition. Now, you might be asking yourself, great, but how do I actually do that? Well, there are paid tools like WhiteSpark or Bright Local that'll tell us the exact directories your competition is listed on, and then we can go out and match those directories. But of course, we don't want to just match them. We want to dominate them. What we have seen is that most companies in the pool building area ranking to the top, they're usually around 50 to 150 citations. So if you're pushed down below that, maybe second or third page, you might only have 10 to 30 citations. Now, I actually did do a search for your company. It looks like you guys are sitting with 1 citation is what my tool is currently showing. Again, it is just a tool, but that is a really low ranking and probably why you're not being found here. Between the citations and optimizing your Google business profile here, those would be great things to be able to help get you here to the top of this map pack. Now, let's talk about the last thing that I wanted to go over with you today, which is backlinks, or often called link juice. This third pillar is really going to help you dominate here on Google. So again, when we search this keyword, Pool Builder St. George, Utah, and scroll down here below the maps, we get down here into this section. So this is called the organics listing section down here. You can see that your site is not ranking number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anywhere here on the first page of Google. Now, again, This is ideally where we want to be, especially in these top 3. So Google statistics have shown that the top 3 businesses here on Google get about 75% of the clicks, meaning that most of your potential customers are choosing one of these first 3 results and are never making it down to your listing. So in order to get here, you need to be out your competition in every aspect. You need authority. So how do you get this authority? Well, this is where the backlinks come into play. So a backlink is just when one website links to another website online. Easiest way to think about it is kind of like a popularity contest back in high school. You want the coolest, most popular kid to be linking back to your website. In this popularity contest, the business with the most relevant link juice and authority wins. And I do say relevant because not all backlinks are created equal. You guys are pool builders, right? Well, you wouldn't want to get a backlink from like an ice cream shop linking back to you because you don't make ice cream. Although that would be tasty, that backlink would be kind of useless to you. But if you had a backlink from like a local blog or industry specific site linking back to you, that would be much more effective. Now, let's jump back over here again into my tool. Let's go back into the overview. We can see here that you've got 37 backlinks being pointed back to your website. It's not bad. It's a great start. It's just not dominant. If we jump over here into your competitor, let's jump to their overview again for cutting edge. You can see that they have 206 backlinks being pointed back to their website. And I also did want to point out here, when I jumped into your backlinks specifically, I'm actually seeing just kind of the quality that we're seeing here. It doesn't look like you've got quality being pointed back to your website. I do see here from this graph that you guys have been growing the type of backlinks that are being pointed back to your website. Looks like since about December of 24, and so you have increased the amount. However, really focusing on the quality here is super important to bringing the power and help building you up. Looks like every single one of these are showing up as a bad quality link. So just something to keep in mind, that it's really important to go out and get the high quality links to being pointed back to your website. Again, getting you here to the top of Google, it is not magic. It's just a tried and true method, and I've shown you that exact method today. So again, the 3 things that you can do today to grow your online presence is, first, focusing on your content here, getting this homepage to at least 1,500 words with the right keywords and phrases that people are actually searching for in your area so that your company gets found. Second is citations, just getting more of your name, address, and phone number listed on as many online directories, preferably authoritative and industry specific, to beat out your competition by a landslide. And then lastly, making sure that you guys are focusing on this quality sites getting back to you. We want to go ahead and remove these spam links and get quality sites being pointed back to your website. That way you show Google that you are the authority. Again, if you implement these strategies today, you can be number 1 across Google. Now, I know how tough the market is, and I know how dependent small businesses may be on third-party companies like Angie's List. I also know how painful it is to pay for leads that are shared amongst your competitors. What I've shown you today gives you an actionable plan, having clients come straight to your door without any brokers in between. So I'm sure at this point you're wondering, okay, well, what now? Well, you really have a few options. First, if you feel like you cannot handle any more clients every month, that is absolutely fair. If you could just send me a quick note telling me you watched the video, tell me your thoughts about it, I would really appreciate your feedback, just for the time that I took to do this customized research for you. On the other hand, if you are ready to grow, then you can take this blueprint and you can implement these 3 strategies on your very own today. I gave you the exact formula that businesses pay tons of dollars to have, and it is all yours to use to help your company. Now, if you found this information valuable, and if you're still one of those business owners to still raise their hands for the most effective route, go ahead and respond to my email and we'll set up a time to chat. Once again, my name is Seleni, and I look forward to your feedback, Dallin. Have a great day.